So when delta G is equal to 0, for the system at equilibrium, it should be at constant temperature and pressure. The rate at which the reactants will react depends on its active mass. We have to find out the POH because it is a basic buffer. Hello my dear students, today I shall solve Karnataka CET 2005 chemistry question paper for y'all. We'll see the first question. A mixture of 2 moles of carbon monoxide and 1 mole of oxygen in a closed vessel is ignited to convert the carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. If delta H is enthalpy change and delta E is the change in internal energy, then delta H is greater than delta E, delta H is less than delta E, delta H is equal to delta E. The relationship depends on the capacity of the vessel. So what is given in the question? It is given as 2 moles of carbon monoxide is mixed with 1 mole of oxygen to form carbon dioxide. So if we balance this, this also will be 2. Okay. So they are asking us what is the relationship between delta H and delta E. When delta H is enthalpy change, delta is the internal energy. So we know the formula, delta H is equal to delta E plus delta N RT. Correct? Now what is delta N? Delta N is number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. So number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. Correct? No? So what is the number of moles of gaseous product? 2, because carbon dioxide is a gas. Reactants, it is 2 plus 1 because both carbon monoxide and oxygen is a gas. So this is 3. So the answer will be minus 1. So if I put that in this equation, I'll get as delta H is delta E minus 1 RT. That means delta H is delta E value minus something. So obviously delta H is less than delta E. So which is the correct option? It is option B. Correct, no? So I hope you have understood this. We'll go to the next question. The cooling in refrigerator is due to option A, reaction of the refrigerator gas, option B, expansion of ice, option C, expansion of gas in refrigerator. The option D is the work of the compressor. So the cooling in refrigerator is basically due to expansion of the gas in the refrigerator. It is based on Joule-Thomson's effect. So I hope you have understood. Next question. For a system in equilibrium, delta G is equal to 0 under conditions of constant temperature and pressure, temperature and volume, pressure and volume, energy and volume. So when delta G is equal to 0, for the system at equilibrium, it should be at constant temperature and pressure. So option A is the correct answer. It is a factual question, isn't it? Next one. Molar heat of vaporization of a liquid is 6 kilojoule per mole. If the entropy change is 16 joule per mole per Kelvin, the boiling point of the liquid is 375 degrees Celsius, 375 Kelvin, 273 Kelvin, 102 degree Celsius. So the formula for this is temperature, that is you want the boiling point, delta H vaporization or vapor by delta H vaporization. Okay. So what is delta H value? The molar heat of vaporization of a liquid is 6 kilojoule. Kilo means 10 to the power 3. 1000 I have written here. Okay. And entropy change is 16 joules. It is given in joules per Kelvin. So if I solve this, I'll get it as 375 Kelvin. So option B is the correct answer. Okay. Next question. The temperature of the system decreases in adiabatic compression, isothermal compression, isothermal expansion, adiabatic expansion. So They're asking us the temperature of the system decreases. When does the temperature of the system decrease? When the work is done by the system, isn't it? So when work is done by the system, that means, is it compression or expansion? It should be expansion. And which kind of expansion it can be? Can it be isothermal expansion in which the temperature is changing? No, isothermal means temperature should be constant. So it should be adiabatic expansion. So option D is the correct answer. We'll go to the next question. 15 moles of hydrogen and 5.2 moles of iodine are mixed and allowed to attain equilibrium at 500 degrees Celsius. At equilibrium, the concentration of Hi is found to be 10 moles. The equilibrium constant for the formation of Hi is option A 50, option B 15, option C 100, option D 25. So what is given in the question, we should understand. 15 moles of hydrogen. Hydrogen, what do we have? 15 moles. And iodine, how much we have? 5.2 moles. Is allowed to attain equilibrium at 500 degrees Celsius. At equilibrium, the concentration of Hi is found to be 10 moles. So here, this gives Hi, balanced chemical equation. This is initially. Okay. Now, at equilibrium, 10 moles of this is there. Hi is there. This is at equilibrium. So, if 10 moles of Hi, see the question or the equation 1 plus 1, you get 2 moles of this. Correct? No? So, if this is 10 moles, 5 moles of iodine has reacted, 5 moles of hydrogen is reacted. Correct? So, 15 minus 5 is there at equilibrium. 5.2 minus 5 is there in equilibrium. So, we will use the formula for this. Kc is equal to molar concentration of the product divided by the product of molar concentration of the reactants. Correct? Formula. What is Hi at equilibrium? 10. 10 square divided by hydrogen is 10 into iodine is 0.2. Correct? So, if I solve this, I will be getting as 50. So, option A 50 is the correct answer. Okay? Next question. If in a reaction N2O4 gives 2NO2, X is the part of N2O4 which dissociates, then the number of moles at equilibrium will be. So, I will write the equation here. N2O4 is dimerizing to give 2NO2. So, before dissociation, I will consider there is 1 mole of N2O4. It is not dissociated, so it is 0. Now, X is dissociating. So, 1 minus X is at equilibrium. This is after dissociation. Okay. So, if X is dissociated, how much of NO2 will be there? 2X will be there because one molecule will dissociate to give 2. So, if X is dissociating, we will get 2X. So, here this is 2X. This is after dissociation. So, at equilibrium, what is the amount of mixture which is present? If I take n minus x plus 2x. So, it is 1 plus x. Correct? So, which is the correct answer? It is option C. It cannot be 1. It cannot be 3. It cannot be 1 plus x square. It should be 1 plus x. So, I hope you have understood this one. We will go to the next question. Which of these does not influence the rate of reaction? Option A, nature of the reactant. Option B, concentration of the reactant. Option C, temperature of the reaction. Option D, molecularity of the reaction. They are asking which does not influence. Yavadu rate of the reaction ge influence madalla. So, what will not influence or what will not affect? Nature will affect, concentration will affect, temperature will affect. Molecularity of a reaction does not have an effect on the rate of the reaction. So option D is the correct answer. Okay. Next one. For the reaction A plus B giving C, it is found that doubling the concentration of A increases the rate by 4 times and doubling the concentration of B doubles the reaction rate. What is the overall order of the reaction? Option A 4, option B 3 by 2, option C 3, option D 1. So if I read the question very carefully, see for this reaction, okay, A plus B giving C. Doubling the concentration of A, this is doubled, okay, 2 times it is increased, doubled. The rate increases by 4 times. That means it is power 2, second order. If this is double, 2 to the power 2 is 4. So the rate increases by 4 times. And also doubling the concentration of B doubles the reaction rate. So when I double B, even the reaction rate also is doubled, means with respect to B it is to the power 1. So what will be the order? 2 plus 1, that is 3. So overall order of the reaction is 3, option C. I hope you have understood this one. We'll go to the next question. The rate at which the substance reacts depends on its atomic weight, atomic number, molecular weight, active mass. The rate at which the reactants will react depends on its active mass. It is law of mass action. Correct? No? It depends on the active mass of the reactants. So option D is the correct answer. Okay? Next one. For the reaction N2 plus O2 giving 2NO, the value of Kc at 800 degrees Celsius is 0.1. When the equilibrium concentration of both the reactant is 0.5 moles, what is the value of Kp at the same temperature? A 0.5, B 0.1, C 0.01, D 0.025. So we have to tell what will be the Kp value, but Kc value is given. Okay. How do we solve this? First we'll write the relationship between Kp and Kc. Kp is equal to Kc RT to the power delta N. Before I go into all of this, I'll find out what is delta N for my equation. Okay. N is what? Number of moles of product which is gaseous minus number of moles of reactant which is gaseous. Number of moles of product is 2 minus reactant is 1 plus 1, 2. So this is 0. So when RT is equal to 0, Kp is equal to Kc, RT to the power 0. So that becomes 1. Here Kp will be equal to Kc, which will be equal to 0.1 because they have given Kc is equal to 0.1. Irrespective of what is the change or whatever is there in the question, it is very, very clear that Kp will be equal to Kc, that is 0.1. Okay. So the answer is option B, 0.1. Okay. We'll go to the next question. The extent of absorption of a gas on a solid depends on nature of the gas, pressure of the gas, temperature of the gas, all are correct. So nature of what? Adsorption on the solid. It depends on temperature, it depends on pressure, it depends on the nature of the gas as well. So obviously all are correct is the correct answer. Okay. Next question. An emulsifier is a substance which stabilizes the emulsion, homogenizes the emulsion, coagulates the emulsion, accelerates the dispersion of a liquid in liquid. Emulsifier stabilizes the emulsion. So option A is the correct answer. Okay. Next one. Which of the following types of metals form the most efficient catalyst? Alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, transition metals, all of the above. We know that the most of the metals are from the D block elements and we call them as transition elements. So obviously it is transition metals which is the most effective catalyst. Okay. Next one. The species among the following which can act as an acid as well as a base is HSO4 minus, SO4 2 minus, H3O plus, Cl minus. See, the answer is very simple. It is HSO4 minus, because it can accept a proton to form H2SO4 as well as HSO4 minus can donate a proton and form SO4 2 minus. So it can act as an acid as well as a base. So option A is the correct answer. Okay, we'll go to the next question. A buffer solution has equal volume of 0.2 molar NH4OH and 0.02 molar NH4Cl. The pKb of the base is 5. The pH is 10, 9, 4, 7. So we are supposed to find out the pH of the solution. They've given that it's a buffer solution. When they've given it's a buffer solution with ammonium hydroxide and ammonium chloride, we have to find out the pOH because it is a basic buffer. Okay, so here pOH is equal to pKb plus log of salt by the base, correct? So here what is pKb? It is given 5. Log of molar concentration of the salt ammonium chloride is 0.02, of the base ammonium hydroxide is 0.2. This is nothing but 10 to the power minus 1, correct? So I'll get it as 5 log of 10 to the power minus 1 is minus 1 log 10. Log 10 is 1. So here 5 plus minus 1 is 4, correct? So pOH is 4. So pH is equal to 14 minus pOH. Why this? Because pH plus pOH is equal to 14, isn't it? So 14 minus pOH is equal to pH. So 14 minus 4 is equal to 10. So this is the pH of the solution. So answer is option A. Okay. We'll go to the next question. The hydrogen electrode is dipped in a solution of pH 3 at 25 degrees Celsius. The potential would be, the value of 2.303 RT by F is 0.059 volt. It's given there. So option A 0.177 volt, option B 0.087 volt, option C 0.059 volt, option D minus 0.177 volt. For this we need to know the formula. Before that formula, pH is equal to 3 means the H plus ion concentration is 10 to the power minus 3. We all know this, how we get it, isn't it? So the formula E is equal to E naught plus 0.059, because 2.303 RT by F, they have given the value 0.059 log of molar concentration of H plus ion. Okay. So here for standard hydrogen electrode, E naught is 0 plus 0.059 log of 10 to the power minus 3. So this is 0.059 into minus 3 log 10. Log 10 is 1. So if I multiply this, I'll get it as minus 0.177 volt. We have only one negative value, so it is understood. It is option D. Okay. So I hope you have understood this particular problem. We'll go to the next one. 20 ml of 0.5 normal HCl and 35 ml of 0.1 normal NaOH are mixed. The resulting solution will be neutral, basic, turns phenolphthalein solution pink, turns methyl orange red. So we have 20 ml of 0.5 normal HCl and 35 ml of 0.1 normal NaOH. First we will find out the gram equivalent mass. So the number of gram equivalents of HCl and NaOH which will neutralize one another. The one which is in excess, then we will see whether it is acidic, basic, or whether it is changing the color of methyl orange or phenolphthalein. Okay. So how do we calculate the gram equivalents? So to calculate the number of gram equivalents, we'll have to use, now for example, 20 ml of 0.5 normal HCl means 20 ml is there, but 0.5 normal means 1000 ml has got 0.5 gram equivalents, I can tell. So I will be putting it as divide by 1000 because 1 liter is 1000 ml into 0.5 gram equivalents per liter. This is also per liter, that is 1000 ml. Okay, so I'll get this as 0.01 gram equivalents. Okay, same way I'll have to calculate for NaOH also. I have 35 ml of 0.1 normal NaOH. So it is 35 divided by 1000 into 0.1, which is equal to 0.0035 gram equivalents. So this is lesser. So these two will get equalized, that is 0.035 gram equivalents of NaOH will neutralize 0035 of HCl. That means HCl is in excess. That means the solution should be acidic. Here neutral basic is there, acidic is not there. So if it is acidic solution, turns phenolphthalein solution pink? No, pink color is in basic solution, acidic solution is colorless. So it should obviously be turns methyl orange red or pink because the solution is acidic. Okay. So I hope you have understood this particular problem. We'll go to the next one. Corrosion of iron is essentially an electrochemical phenomena where the cell reactions are Fe is oxidized to Fe plus 2 and dissolved oxygen in water is reduced to OH minus. Option B, Fe is oxidized to Fe plus 3 and H2O is reduced to O2 2 minus. Option C, Fe is oxidized to Fe plus 2 and H2O is reduced to O2 minus. Option D, Fe is oxidized to Fe plus 2 and H2O is reduced to O2. During rusting of iron, Fe is oxidized to Fe plus 2 and the dissolved oxygen in water is reduced to OH minus. So option A is the right answer. It is just the corrosion process you all have learnt. It is theoretical. It is there in the equations. If you know the equations, it's easy to answer. Okay. Next one, that is 20th and the last question of this part. The standard electrode potential is measured by electrometer, voltmeter, pyrometer, galvanometer. It is voltmeter to measure the standard electrode potential. So I hope you have understood the first 20 questions of Karnataka CET 2005 question paper. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned for more updates.